Trump, who was in Saudi Arabia yesterday, made quite a number of statements. According to some reports, Saudi leadership decided to invest in US some $600 billion, which is going to be, one of the highlight points of this visit, I guess, of Trump in the Gulf states. But during his presence in Saudi Arabia, and he would then travel to United Arab Emirates and then to Qatar, I believe. But anyways, while he was in Saudi Arabia, he stated that he will remove sanctions on Syria. Let's listen to his statement, dear friends, on this matter.
I will be ordering the cessation of sanctions against Syria in order to give them a chance at greatness.
He loves this, isn't it? This freaking show, man. Ay, блин. US is removing sanctions on Syria when this country is controlled by terrorists. Before, Syria was controlled by secular government, autocratian or whatever, but secular government. US and their collectivist countries were destroying Syria with sanctions, because this country was not in a position to withstand such pressure. And now when this pro-Turkish or Turkish-controlled proxy terrorist regime is in power in Damascus, they are lifting sanctions. This said it all, isn't it? I mean, this just said it all, right? Where collective West stands and where the rest of the world is. It's just, there is clear divide, right? There is no morality on side of West, by the way, left. There is no dignity on side of West, left. No humanity side of West. I'm talking about Western elites, political class, obviously. I'm not talking about ordinary people, but decision makers are these so-called elites, isn't it? They are not asking people about their decisions. I don't think US public was asked about this decision. Should US lift sanctions on terrorists? But this information is clearly yet another favor that US is doing for Turkey, isn't it? Because Damascus is Syria now controlled by Turkish proxy regime. And I did and just a couple of days ago, I reported, yesterday or day before, I reported that surprisingly, Kurdish Workers' Party, PKK, also made decision to lay down arms and no longer engaged in a military struggle against Turkey. Some other decisions were made by the Western countries in favor of, including by US, in favor of Ankara, and the question is why? What is going on? And my understanding of the situation is, by the way, and I spoke about it before, that the US and number of other countries basically are buying out Erdogan's regime because they want Turkey to either stay neutral or even participate in military hostilities against Iran. And Turkey is an important country, by the way, because first of all, Turkey is bordering Iran. And secondly, Turkey has quite close ties with Azerbaijan. And Azerbaijan is located on Caspian Sea, by the way. And if you take a look at the map, when US, Israel, and I'm not talking about if, by the way, I'm saying when US, Israel, and a number of their allies will attack Iran, Caspian Sea is going to be most likely major lifeline for Iran, right? And to distract this lifeline, the US is now trying to bribe, basically, Erdogan's regime with all sorts of favors, so that Turkey will use its leverage over the Baku, so that Azerbaijan will try to distract potential, navigation, basically, in the Caspian Sea, when convoys of vessels will travel from Russia to Iran in a non-stop, constantly, right? In non-stop regime. And there, by the way, because this lifeline goes from Russia to Iran, this is yet another reason. This is yet another, also from Kazakhstan, by the way. One should keep in mind that Kazakhstan is also can provide Iran potentially with some assistance if Turkey, if China has enough leverage over the Kazakhstan. But we should keep in mind that Kazakhstan is a Turkic-speaking country. Turkey has a significant influence over the Astana also, but Russia is a whole different story. And one of the reasons why, in my opinion, Washington is rushing to kind of achieve some agreement with Moscow, to reach some agreement with Moscow, is to receive guarantees that Russia will not seek revenge against US on a state level, at least. And in that case, US probably would hope that Russia will not provide Iran with the military and the intelligence assistance during the war that US is going to start against Iran. It seems absolutely inevitable, by the way, for many reasons. Hopefully Russia will support Iran with whatever is necessary, because yet again, this Caspian Sea is going to be truly a lifeline for Iran, because take a look at the map, dear friends. Persian Gulf, in case of war, Persian Gulf and the Hormuz Strait will be shut down, obviously. Indian Ocean will be, Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean will be shut down for Iran, and the Caspian Sea is going to be lifeline, 100%. So you see how entangled all these geopolitical developments are, isn't it? And it is not some random stuff that Trump is visiting now Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar. He wants to make sure that these countries will also stay on board with US during this attack on Iran, and will either support or stay neutral. That's what is happening. And in this regard, there was a media reports, isn't it, that Trump might recognize independence of Palestine, state of Palestine. This did not happen yet, at least for now. 9:30 in Moscow on 14th of May, but we might see such a statement from Trump today, maybe tomorrow. It's still a possibility, and that recognition of potential recognition of Palestine would be also part of this bigger geopolitical game that US is engaged right now to create her anti-Iranian coalition and to give something to brag about Arab countries or countries in the Middle East, so that their position would not be shaken by public disappointment or public outrage when US and Israel will attack Iran. And they're gonna be public outrage despite their fact that Iran, by the way, is mostly Shiite Muslim country, and their other countries in the Middle East are mostly Sunni Muslim countries. Only other country that is a Shiite, predominantly Shiite, is Azerbaijan, as far as I know. Azerbaijan is also a mostly Shiite country, but Turkic speaking. So therefore, Azerbaijan has much closer ties with Turkey than with Iran, despite the fact that there is a huge Iranian Azerbaijani diaspora in Iran, and in Iranian leadership there is many ethnic Azerbaijanis, but it did not help to build a strategical partnership between Tehran and Baku. Turkey did manage to basically take over the Azerbaijan. Anyways, dear friends, you see how connected all these developments are, isn't it?